Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for Android App Arena is provided by CacheFly at CACHEFLY.com.
This is Android App Arena, episode 130 for Wednesday, December 28th, 2016. Best Arena apps of 2016. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Android App Arena. I'm your host, Jason Howell, and it's that time of year. I mean, yes, it's the end of the year where we look back at some of the best apps from the year, but the thing I'm most excited to do is add up the number of apps I've reviewed on this show, because I kind of can't believe it. Turns out, when you review 2 to 4 apps every single week, that number gets large and real fast. Drum roll, please, Lawrence. Yeah, there we go. During the 2016 calendar year, we've checked out a total of 196 apps on this show. Add that to the total from all previous episodes. Given you're a completionist and you've seen all episodes of Android App Arena, and I hope you have, you've witnessed around 515 app reviews. Let's now take that from the total number of apps in the Google Play Store, anywhere between 1.6 million to 2 million apps, and that's all it took to take the wind out of my sails completely, but still no small feat. Anyways, I picked out a total of 5 apps that have been reviewed on the show this year that, in my mind, encapsulate some of the best apps on tap. I enjoyed them a lot anyways, so let's take a look at this week's roundup of my favorite apps from 2016. In episode 79, I checked out the game, or, well, rather the game designer app called Draw Your Game. And what can I say? Taking something tangible to create something interactive in the digital world was just super awesome. Let's check it out. Have you ever wondered what kind of platform game you would make if you only knew how to do it? Me, I'm useless when it comes to coding. So I was intrigued to find Draw Your Game in the Play Store. Here's what you need. You take a blank piece of white paper in real life and 4 colored felt tip markers, black, green, red, and blue. On the paper, I'll use the black marker to draw the floors and the walls inside my level, and I can make this as complex as I want. Objects that your character can move, actually shift around the playfield, are drawn in blue, maybe a few boulders or something like that. Bouncy pads can be drawn, these little trampolines, they're drawn in green to, hop your character up even higher than it could jump without the trampoline. And then the objects to avoid, let's say spiky things here, are drawn in red. Now, once your level looks awesome, you just use the app to snap a picture with your phone. And then you'll want to do a few other tweaks here. You can drop the character where you want the starting point to be. So if you want it to start up top on a platform or down below. Once that's imported, you can do things like tweak the size of your character in space compared to the level. Also, you want to define a goal. Is your goal to destroy all of those blue movable elements by touching them to a red element? Or is your level an elaborate maze that you want your character to escape from? Now, while playing the level, you can switch between 2D mode, which is kind of showing you the drawing that you made, more or less, or 3D mode, which adds some extra dimension to the stuff that you drew on your paper. I'm no level designer, but there was something particularly awesome about busting out a sheet of paper and some markers to design a game for my phone. The full version is a 99-cent upgrade that gives you unlimited creation of your worlds, new character choices, and a full unencumbered adventure mode. Though I did have problems syncing that upgrade to a second phone, so there are definitely some bugs to be worked out there. I'm sure they'll be resolved. Regardless, part of the fun here is sharing your creations with other users, which you can do with the full version, and exploring their levels as well. Find Draw Your Game in the Play Store right now. I got really fixated on digital mask apps in 2016. Those are the apps that allow you to try on other people's faces. I'm not sure what that says about me, to be honest, and I don't want to know, but Masquerade was the app that kicked off my obsession. Have you ever wanted to try on somebody else's face? And not in a Leatherface horror movie sort of way. That would be weird. What I mean is the virtual sense, like on your phone, that sort of way. An app called MSQRD, but meant to be pronounced as Masquerade, is here to creep you out. Even Facebook agrees this app is awesome. They announced just today that they bought the company. So let's take a look. All you have to do is frame your face in the outlines that appear on the screen. Now you'll select one of the masks in the carousel below. It's a limited carousel at this point, but more on that in a second. The default when you launch is this chimpanzee mask, and yeah, you can agree it's pretty creepy as a first mask to try on. There's this mustache guy that makes me look more like Borat than I care to admit. This other mustache guy almost makes me look like Tony Stark. Almost, not quite as awesome. There are dogs, tigers. There's this mask of an old person, which makes you feel like you can't see anymore. There's this abstract clown drawing, which is hard to describe. You just kind of got to see it in use. So this is actually a beta release of the app. The iOS counterpart has a lot more features, including animations built in and even more masks than what you see on the Android version. The developers say more masks are coming very soon to Android, and it's very similar to Snapchat filters, but obviously without the Snapchat part of the equation. One thing is for sure, you'll probably look pretty stupid to anyone that walks into the room while you're playing with this app. Masquerade is free in the Play Store. I also got way into virtual reality this year. VR on mobile isn't nearly as powerful or in some ways as compelling as it is in the big leagues, but the app called VTime kind of opened my eyes, literally, to what we'll likely see in the social sense as VR emerges from nascency. So there I was in my office with my cheap little cardboard viewer and a new app called VTime. I connected to this, a social network designed for VR, and I gotta say, I was kind of blown away by what this might mean for the future of social interaction online. I might be overstating it, but it felt like the future, for better or for worse. In VTime, you take some time to craft your avatar first and foremost in whatever unique ways that you want, or you can do what I did and just randomize it until you have something you want to live with. You can connect VTime to Facebook to find people you know to connect with, but to show it off, I'll check out the lobby here and simply select a random person to chat with. Now, once you have a willing participant, you will be whisked away to one of 20 or so different immersive environments to have a sit-down conversation with that person, from the beach to an airplane to so many other locales. The audio from your phone is streamed to them in real time, as is their audio back to you. As people talk, their avatar's hands move in convincing ways, and honestly, I was amazed at how immersive the experience was. Yes, you are having a simple audio conversation with someone, but that in combination with the environment inside VR really sets a certain mood. It's an interesting mix of real and virtual that reminds me of Second Life to a certain degree at least. Now, I'm not saying I plan on spending much time in virtual conversation rooms like this, but I do think that this is an early glimpse into something that might someday be much less obscure and much more commonplace. VR is coming. And this is exactly the kind of transformative experience that'll help people to realize its power and potential. Find VTime for Google Cardboard now in the Play Store for free. Have you ever wanted to create a music video? Me neither. But then the developers of Triller made it super easy to do with a smartphone and took all the hard work out of it, and I was sold. Now, you like your music videos. That's got to be rule number one here. Rule number two with the next app called Triller is that you have some stamina, because piecing together an entire music video with your phone as well as the app Triller can be time consuming, but it's very rewarding. Here's how it works. First, I'll go ahead and fire off a new project. Now, you can either scroll through to find a music selection from the featured section. This is more or less a number of current hits, recognizable to people younger than I am. Or you can do what I did and add my own music. Now, any music that's stored on your device, it's all fair game, and that includes adding an entire song beginning to end. So you can quite literally make an entire music video here. We'll go ahead and pick one off of my device, a nice John Lennon track. Now we'll choose the portion of the song, which, yes, can be the entire thing, but for this example, I'm going to grab a short clip and then I'll hit OK to let it process that audio. And now I'm ready to record take one of however many I want. I can swipe left or right to kind of pick some stylized filters for my particular clip because, you know, music videos always have that crazy effect thing going on. And now I'll record take after take after take of my lip syncing to that track, kind of changing up the scenarios with each one. You can adjust the speed of the recording, of course, so it plays faster or it's slowed down, but it's still synced to the music. And, once that's all inserted into the project, it kind of adds even more variety when you do that. Now, when you have all of your takes, hit that Triller button, and then you'll watch the app kind of cut together a randomly generated music video, switching between all of those clips that you created. And if you don't like the cut, all you have to do is hit that button again. It'll recut a new version with different switches. If you don't happen to like a particular shot inside that version, all you have to do is tap to that portion of the video and then swipe that block to pick your favorite shot for that particular part of the song. And then when you have your masterpiece, you can share it out to the world, of course, or save it to your device. Triller is a lot of fun, and sorry if my music video scarred you for life. Find Triller for yourself and see what you can do. It's in the Play Store right now for free. A big theme this year involved AI being applied to digital photography, utilizing methods that mimic art styles in convincing ways. Prisma was the first app to do this successfully, to my mind, and many others then followed suit afterwards. So the app that inspired this week's theme arrives on the Android scene after an explosive release on iOS last month, and then followed by a brief beta of around 1 week on Android. Prisma is a photo art app that utilizes something we talk about a lot these days on Twit: artificial intelligence and neural networks. First, Prisma is not a photo editing app. You won't find the traditional endless supply of photo editing tools here, but you do get a few. From the start, you can either snap a photo or import an existing photo from your gallery, so let's first do that. And once imported, you can rotate and crop to taste. And that does it for actual photo editing functions. Now the part that Prisma is known for. Across the bottom of the screen, as you see, is a long carousel of artistic filters. Yes, we've heard that line a million times before, but these filters actually mimic the art style of famous artists the world over. You'll recognize many of these immediately. Select the filter to apply that to the picture that you've chosen from your gallery and send it off. That image is then uploaded to Prisma's servers, where their neural network processes the image in the style of that filter and eventually, usually somewhere around 15 seconds or so later, sends it back to you with the changes made. Those neural networks have been trained to detect patterns in those original art styles, and it applies those lessons to how it treats the photos, creating incredibly realistic looking works of art. It's actually pretty astounding how good it is at times. Do be aware that there are a ton of Prisma copycats in the Play Store, so do yourself a favor and search for Prisma by typing in Neural Prisma, one word, when you go to search. Find it now in the Play Store for free. This episode will go down in history as the very last episode of Android App Arena for 2016. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw you off there. We'll be back next week as we usher in a new year of apps, like we always do. Send me your favorite apps and categories to arena@twit.tv. You can always post those to the subreddit, androidaparena.reddit.com. The recorded show plays every Wednesday around 5 p.m. Pacific following Tech News Today at twit.tv/live, and new episodes will always appear later in the evening in the feeds and on the show page at twit.tv/arena. Alrighty, that's it, folks. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Jason Howell, and I'll see you next year in the arena.